Yeah, Kevin, just coming out of that game, what are some positives you think the defense can build on?
I think our guys coming out of that game, we played 3.5 quarters of football. So I think within that first 3.5 quarters, we were physical, we tackled well. Guys were able to get on and off blocks. They played the way that we expect them to play and how they've shown to play throughout the course of spring and fall. So we have to build on that. We have to continue to build on who we are as a defense, and then obviously the finish is what we have to be better. We got to be better at complementary football. I thought early in the game, we played well. We were able to get fourth down stops. We were put in situations where in sudden changes where we did a good job, and then at the end of the game, the offense started rolling, get some points, and we weren't able to get the ball back to them. So I think that's the areas that we need to move forward and improve upon is one, finishing things, and then two, it can't just be one side playing well. We have to know when the offense is rolling. We have to find ways to get them the ball. We have to get more takeaways. We have to be able to get off the field. Whatever it is, we have to get the ball to the offense when they're feeling good.
You think the defense just gets worn down with playing too many snaps because the snap counts seem to really skew the other team?
Yeah, football's a physical game. I think our depth in certain spots is real thin at times too. So I think guys get kind of worn down in that sense. But I think if we do a good enough job on first and second down and get off the field on third down, then we can have some success. I think that was some other things too, like where some critical third downs where we have the call made where guys need to be in the right spot at the right time, and for some reason they are or they aren't. So we have to clean that up. We have to make sure our guys are doing their jobs right to get off the field to play less plays. But yeah, the physicality on the fourth quarter, you can see it kind of wore down a little bit, and we mentally have to be stronger than what our body's telling us at times.
What do you do moving forward to set the edge better against the run?
Yeah, I think we've made some schematic things this past week to kind of solidify some things, hopefully, and then we'll get out there and practice it, and hopefully that's what kind of helps us. So I think things that we hadn't seen throughout the course of fall camp kind of have showed up, and as coaches we have to acknowledge that and say, all right, this is enough. So I think some changes are being made in that sense. So we just got to go through and execute now.
And KJ had a great game. What did you see from him in terms of improvement since Notre Dame earlier in the season for him to show up like that?
Yeah, that's the KJ that we've seen all fall camp, and the guy has a unique ability, an instinct to find the football and make plays, and that's what you saw. And it started from his preparation and how he went about the week. I think in the big game against Notre Dame, he tried to make every play instead of just letting the game come to him and then making the plays that it needs to. And then I think there was a big focus for him this past week, just to line up, see what he needs to see, do his job, and then I think the first 5 plays he was either making the tackle or was in on a tackle. So and it's kind of snowballed on throughout the rest of the game for him. So he had a great game, but it's only one game, so he's got to build upon that.
And you've got a freshman quarterback coming in, first road game. Mm-hmm. Is there things you can do to maybe make it extra uncomfortable on him, just knowing that those are the circumstances? Is that going to be a focus for you guys?
Yeah, I think so. It's hard to look at this kid and think he's a true freshman. He's got a certain moxie about him, a composure and charisma. That like the team, the play caller, everybody feeds on his emotion. So when he's excited, all of a sudden, boom, there's a big play getting ready to drawn up. So. I think coming in his first road game, obviously he's never played on the road, so that's going to be something that he's going to have to be ready for. And I just hope Ross 8 is rocking like it usually is, and we can go out there and kind of confuse the guy a little bit.
I just want to confirm. I thought you said last week, but you're saying you guys are making some schematic changes this week, off of what happened on Saturday.
We've adjusted some things, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When you were evaluating this, were you seeing more schematic breakdowns than you're seeing, I guess, personnel mistakes?
Well, I think when you look at a defense and say, okay, we were sound schematically in what we were doing. It's just, are you asking people to do things that they can't do when it's said and done? So I think when we're going through that type of stuff, we had some issues, so we have to adjust what we have to do because we weren't making a play or the guy wasn't able to get there. So. I think when you look at what we were doing on setting edges and stuff like that, I think you're going to see some more solidified edges this week. So, and how we're going about that.
You guys are one of the few teams in the country that hasn't forced a turnover yet. I know that there's only so much you can control there, but are you seeing things after you've evaluated these 3 games that specifically need to be better to help that happen?
Yeah, I think, turnovers are funny. Sometimes they come in bunches, and sometimes you go through a drought, So I think we just got to continue to press on, like what we always talk about, effort to the ball. Like a lot more times than not, takeaways are a result of pursuit and guys running the ball, and the guy that's not who he sees, who they don't see, punches that ball out. So we show guys on film, hey, here's an opportunity when the ball is swinging around that we've got to make this play and punch the ball out. And so I think the more we emphasize it, hopefully it becomes reality here soon.
What did you see from Joseph Jefferson's performance having to play like extended snaps in Antonio's place on Saturday?
Yeah, I know Joe came in on a situation where, he did some good things, and there was other times where you could see he was in the right spot, but he's got to make a play. So there's some promise in what we got to do. Now when you give him a full week of reps and everything, hopefully he takes a big step as far as his performance.
Rayola's done a pretty good job throwing on the run this season, based on what I've seen. How do you balance disrupting him, but also keeping him in the pocket, not letting him kind of break things down?
Yeah, a lot of those throws have been designed move the pocket type of throws for him. So obviously we got to build our wall and kind of keep him in the pocket, and but he will extend some plays with his legs if our pass rush lanes aren't great, So I think if we can affect him, getting pressure up in his face, and having a good pass rush, and I think that's going to frazzle him sometimes. But the guy's a great player. Just what he's shown. Like I said, his composure is. For a young quarterback, you see he hangs back there. He waits for his receivers to get open, and he'll extend plays just to get the ball out. So we got a challenge in front of us with a good quarterback, and we obviously got to keep him corralled.
Kevin, going back to the turnovers, I think he averaged better than 1 a game last year, but a lot of interceptions, and you're getting behind at least the last couple of games. For this defense to work the way it does it need to be an even game, or a game where you're ahead, where you can take those opportunities and rush a passer?
Sure, I think that's part of it. But like turnovers are funny. Like they'll show up when you least expect them, and then you see the guys that are trained. Like a guy like Freddie Warner for the 49ers, who every time he goes and tackles somebody, he punches the football. That's a practice skill. It's a habit, not a skill. So the more I'm showing our guys that Freddie Warner plays every day as much as I can. And you're seeing guys, if you watch the film, you're seeing guys rip at the football, and eventually those will turn into fumbles and takeaways and everything else. And then obviously on the back end, we got to play, we're going to play aggressively with man coverage and mix in our zones. And then at some point, hopefully, knock on wood, the ball will find our hands, So, but we just got to keep going on it, man. And like I said, the turnovers are funny sometimes.
The option obviously gave you some problems the other day. What do you take away from a game like that, where it seemed like a lot of times you had one guy trying to take the pitch man and the quarterback?
Yeah, you go back and watch the film, and that's something. Just how our defense is designed. We know that play is an issue, and we have guys designed there to either get over the top or slow play, and we got to execute better. There's no doubt about it. So that's something that is going to be a big area of emphasis for not only this week, but for the remainder of the season. Because once it's been put out there, you're going to keep seeing it until you stop it. So our defense is what it is. We know what we're going to get, and guys have to go out there and we have to execute the call properly.
Any other questions for Coach Kane? All right, thanks, Coach.